A city that looks calm on the surface is hiding something dark underneath. A sudden disappearance, a silent street, and a single clue that does not fit anywhere. This is where the case begins. In St. John's, every shadow feels like it is hiding a secret, and every second lost could mean the truth disappears forever. When a powerful figure vanishes without a trace, the police are left with more questions than answers. But this time, something is different. The crime does not look normal. It feels planned, careful, and almost like someone wanted to be invisible. The investigation starts when Detective Charlie Hudson is called to a location where nothing seems clear. There are no clear signs of struggle, no direct witnesses, and no easy explanation. The only thing left behind is a small piece of evidence that does not match the scene. It is enough to prove that this is not a simple missing person case. It is something bigger, something deeper. Hudson immediately senses that this case will not follow normal rules. And standing beside him is Rex, his loyal canine partner, who seems more alert than usual, as if he can already feel the danger hidden in the air. As the first steps of the investigation begin, the police try to piece together the last known movements of the missing person. Cameras from nearby streets show nothing useful, as if someone carefully avoided every visible angle. Witnesses are unsure, some even changing their statements when questioned again. This creates confusion and slows down the search. But Hudson refuses to accept the idea that the person simply vanished. He knows there is always a trace, something small that others miss. That is where Rex becomes important. While humans see confusion, Rex follows what cannot be spoken: a scent, a direction, a memory hidden in the ground. Rex begins to react to something at the scene. It is subtle at first, just a shift in focus, a strong pull toward a direction that does not match the official story. Hudson notices this immediately. He trusts Rex more than any report or statement because Rex never lies. Following this reaction, they begin to move away from the main scene and into areas that others have ignored. Each step feels like it is leading them closer to something hidden. The city around them feels normal, but the case is not normal at all. There is a strange silence in every clue, as if someone carefully erased their presence. As the search continues, Hudson starts to realize that this is not just about a missing person. It is about control. Someone has planned this very carefully, making sure that every lead stops too early. The missing figure was not taken randomly, they were chosen. And the reason behind it is still hidden in the dark. Rex suddenly stops at a point near the edge of the area, showing interest in something buried in confusion. This moment changes everything. It confirms that the truth is nearby, but protected by layers of planning. Hudson understands one thing clearly now. This case will not only test their skills, it will test their trust, patience, and ability to survive what comes next. The investigation moves deeper into a direction where nothing feels simple anymore. What began as a missing person case slowly turns into something that looks carefully designed to mislead everyone involved. Hudson and Rex now find themselves standing at the center of a puzzle where every answer creates two more questions. The early confusion is no longer just confusion. It now feels like a pattern. A pattern built to slow them down, distract them, and keep the truth hidden for as long as possible. The team begins by reviewing every small detail collected from the scene. The missing person's last known movements are traced again and again, but each time the path feels incomplete. There are gaps in time where nothing can be confirmed. It is as if someone carefully removed the missing hours from reality itself. Surveillance footage from nearby streets is checked, but most of it shows empty roads or unclear angles. In one important location, the camera system had a short technical failure exactly during the time the disappearance likely happened. This is not normal. Too many small failures are now starting to connect in a way that feels intentional. Hudson pays close attention to the behavior of people connected to the case. Some witnesses appear nervous, avoiding direct eye contact, while others repeat prepared answers that sound too clean, too perfect. It becomes clear that someone has influenced the story before the police even arrived. This makes the case more dangerous, because when truth is already controlled by fear or pressure, finding real facts becomes much harder. Rex stays close during every interview, observing reactions in a way only an animal can. His focus shifts whenever someone lies or hesitates, giving Hudson silent signals that guide him through confusion. As the investigation continues, a small but strange detail appears in the background reports. The missing person was recently linked to a confidential project involving high-level research and private contracts. This connection changes everything. It suggests that this is not a random disappearance, but something tied to valuable information or hidden knowledge. Hudson now starts thinking in a different direction. If the missing person knew something important, then their disappearance is not the end goal. It is only the first step of a larger plan. Rex suddenly reacts strongly during a search near a restricted area connected to the victim's last known office. He picks up a scent trail that does not match the expected timeline. The trail leads to a location that was not originally included in the investigation map. Hudson follows immediately, trusting that Rex has found something the system missed. The trail feels faint, but consistent, like it was partially cleaned but never fully erased. This discovery creates a shift in the case. It shows that the missing person may have been moved through controlled routes, avoiding public detection. While moving through this new direction, Hudson starts to feel that someone is watching their progress. Small signs suggest that information about the investigation may be leaking. A question asked in one location appears answered in another place before it should be known. This creates a silent pressure on the team. It is no longer just about finding the missing person. It is about working faster than someone who already knows their next move. Rex continues to guide Hudson toward a narrow path leading away from normal routes. Each step feels more deliberate, like they are being pulled into a hidden layer of the city. The evidence is no longer scattered randomly. It is placed carefully, almost like breadcrumbs left by someone who understands how investigators think. Hudson realizes that the person behind this is not only organized, but experienced. Someone who knows how to delay justice without ever being seen directly. The deeper they go, the clearer it becomes that this case is connected to something larger than a single disappearance. It is part of a controlled system where information, people, and evidence are all being managed from behind the scenes. And somewhere inside this system, the truth is still alive, waiting for the moment it can finally be uncovered. The investigation takes a sharper turn as Hudson and Rex move deeper into the hidden layers of the case. What once looked like confusion now starts forming a disturbing shape. Every new clue does not bring relief. It brings pressure. The missing person is still unaccounted for, but the way evidence is being handled suggests that someone is always one step ahead of the police. Hudson begins to understand that they are not simply searching for a victim anymore. They are moving through a controlled environment where every answer is being filtered before it reaches them. The first major problem appears when the team tries to rebuild the timeline using nearby surveillance systems. At first, it seems like a normal technical issue, but as more footage is reviewed, the pattern becomes impossible to ignore. Several cameras across different locations show missing gaps during the same time window. Not just 1 or 2 seconds, but full segments of time that have been wiped or corrupted. The strange part is that these failures are not random. They are aligned in a way that creates a blind corridor through the city, exactly along the route the missing person might have taken. This level of precision suggests planning, not coincidence. Hudson requests backup analysis from the technical team, but even the recovered fragments offer very little. In some clips, people appear to be acting normally, but their movements do not fully connect between frames. It feels like pieces of a story are missing on purpose. Rex stays close to Hudson during this process, showing unusual focus whenever the footage is played. His behavior becomes a silent guide, reacting more strongly when certain areas or time frames are shown. It is as if he can sense something hidden behind the digital gaps. The next step takes Hudson to witness interviews. This is where the case becomes even more unstable. People who were present near the time of disappearance begin to contradict themselves. One witness claims they saw a vehicle near the area, while another insists the street was empty. A third person changes their statement entirely when questioned again, now denying what they originally said. The inconsistencies are not natural. They feel controlled, as if someone has already influenced what people remember or are willing to say. Hudson notices fear behind some of the answers, not confusion, fear of consequences that are not being openly mentioned. Rex is taken to several of the key locations to pick up any remaining scent trails. At one particular spot near a service alley behind a commercial building, Rex suddenly becomes alert. His focus locks onto a narrow path that runs away from the main street. He begins to follow it with strong confidence, pulling Hudson into a direction that was not part of the original investigation plan. The scent is faint but consistent, suggesting that someone passed through here while trying to avoid attention. The trail does not behave like a random escape route. It feels controlled, like it was used carefully, and possibly more than once. As they follow the trail, Hudson starts connecting smaller details from earlier reports. The missing surveillance gaps, the conflicting witness statements, and now this hidden movement pattern are not separate problems. They are pieces of the same system. Someone is not only committing a crime, but also shaping the environment around it to slow down discovery. This realization changes Hudson's approach. He is no longer just reacting to clues. He is now trying to think like the person behind them. A new report comes in from the technical unit, and it adds another disturbing layer. There are signs that internal access may have been used to interfere with police data. Not external hacking alone, but possible inside-level access. This raises a dangerous possibility that someone within or close to the system is involved in controlling the flow of information. Hudson keeps this detail private for now, but it changes the mood of the investigation completely. Trust becomes limited. Every shared detail now carries risk. Rex continues forward until the scent trail weakens near a junction of service roads and delivery entrances. Here, the pattern splits, suggesting either multiple transport routes or deliberate misdirection. Hudson studies the area carefully, realizing that whoever is behind this understands how tracking works. They are not just avoiding capture, they are actively breaking the logic of investigation. Each step they take has already been anticipated. The case is no longer just about finding a missing person. It has become a race against an unseen force that is shaping every clue in real time. And as Hudson stands at the edge of the broken trail, he understands something critical. The real challenge is not following evidence anymore, but finding the one piece that was never meant to be found. The investigation reaches a breaking point as everything that once looked structured begins to fall into uncertainty. Hudson and Rex are now dealing with more than missing evidence or confused witnesses. They are facing a system that seems designed to protect itself at every level. Every time they move forward, something shifts behind them, closing the space they just passed through. It creates a feeling that the case is not only being investigated, but also actively resisting investigation. The turning point comes when the team tries to follow the scent trail Rex discovered earlier. The trail leads them toward an industrial zone at the edge of the city, a place filled with storage units, old warehouses, and unused service buildings. At first glance, it looks empty and unimportant, but Rex's behavior changes the entire meaning of the location. He moves with strong certainty, not hesitation, as if he recognizes something that connects directly to the missing person. Hudson notices this and immediately understands that they are close to something real. As they approach deeper into the area, communication between team members becomes more restricted. Backup units report delays, and some support data arrives incomplete. It is not a total shutdown, but it is enough to slow coordination. This creates tension because it feels like the investigation is being quietly interrupted from multiple directions. Hudson decides not to wait for full support and continues with Rex, trusting his instincts over procedural caution. Inside one of the older warehouse buildings, Rex suddenly stops and becomes highly alert. His focus is locked onto a specific section of the floor where faint traces of movement can still be detected. Hudson examines the area carefully and notices signs that something heavy was recently moved here. Scratches on the floor, disturbed dust patterns, and faint chemical traces suggest that this location was used temporarily, not abandoned. It looks like a holding point, a place where something or someone was kept before being moved again. Before the team can fully process this discovery, the situation takes a sharp turn. As they explore further, it becomes clear that they are not alone in the area. There are subtle signs of recent human presence, even though no one is visible. Footsteps in dust, partially open doors, and a vehicle sound in the distance suggest that someone is still controlling this space. Hudson immediately signals caution, realizing that they may have entered a monitored zone. The feeling of being observed becomes stronger, as if their arrival was expected. Rex moves toward a back section of the warehouse where ventilation pipes run along the wall. His behavior becomes more focused and urgent. Hudson follows and notices a hidden access point partially covered by stored materials. Behind it is a narrow passage leading downward. The structure is not part of the official building design, suggesting it was added later or used secretly. This discovery changes everything. It confirms that the missing person may have been moved through an underground route, away from public detection. As they prepare to investigate further, a sudden disruption occurs. Evidence stored by the team begins to show inconsistencies. A recorded statement from earlier witness interviews is found to be altered in minor but important ways. Not fully deleted, but subtly changed enough to mislead interpretation. This creates a new level of concern. It is no longer just physical evidence being manipulated. Now even recorded truth is under pressure. Hudson realizes that the opposition is not random. It is organized enough to interfere with both physical movement and information flow at the same time. This means the case is connected to a structured group, not an individual acting alone. The missing person is likely part of something much larger, and their disappearance is only one part of a controlled operation. Rex continues to focus on the hidden passage, refusing to leave the area. His reaction suggests that the scent trail becomes stronger here, not weaker. This indicates that the missing person may have been moved through this exact route, possibly within the last few hours or days. The urgency increases because time is no longer just a factor. It is a threat. The longer they wait, the more likely the trail will be erased completely. Hudson stands at the entrance of the hidden passage, understanding that what lies ahead is not just another search path. It is a controlled environment where the rules of investigation may no longer apply. Every step forward now carries risk, but turning back would mean losing the closest connection they have found so far to the truth.